Look, if I don't have a social media content plan or calendar, I am never going to post. Been there, done that lots of times. So I want to show you how you can create a social media content calendar to make social media easier for you, even if you don't have a social media calendar right now. The first thing that I do want to talk about are the types of content that you should be creating, that you should be adding to your social media content calendar. So there's email content, right? Content that you're sending to your email list to get them to know, like, and trust you, build that relationship, get them used to opening emails from you, because this is the primary way you're going to be able to get in contact with your people no matter what. If Instagram, Facebook shuts down, you have this email list. So you need to be sending email lists to your people consistently so they're used to seeing these emails from you. The second piece of content is blog posts. Now, why it's important to consider blog posts in your content calendar is because they are searchable, right? They can be found in Google. You can add pins to them so that then they can be found in Pinterest as well. So I do think having blogs are an important piece of your content plan as well. I would kind of throw together podcasting and YouTube. I know a lot of people are like, should I podcast? Should I YouTube? And they kind of look at these two as one or the other. While I do think based on time, if you have to choose one or another, totally okay. But I do think both of them have very powerful reasons to be on your social media plan. And if you can figure out how to tie them in together, which we're currently working on right now with our Video Reframe podcast and the YouTube channel, I think it could really be special and kind of put your business in a position where you stand out, right? And then the fourth piece of content is social media content. We're thinking Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, right? So then what types of content should you be doing? That's a whole heck of a lot of content. Do not do all of them. Listen to me loud and clear. Do not do all of them, especially if it's just you in your business. There is no way you can do all of these, but you can do multiple of these if you do it smart, and that's what I'm going to break down here today. But what I want you to think about before you pick what types of content you are going to be creating is, where is your audience? If your audience was Gen Z, putting content on Facebook is not going to help you out because Gen Z is just not on Facebook. So you just need to think about your audience and where are they hanging out? And then I would suggest picking one piece of evergreen content, something that's going to live a lot longer than just an Instagram post or like typical social media. This could be a blog post. This could be a podcast episode. This can be a YouTube video, because these are going to live longer and can be searched on Google. Podcasts can be searched on Google if you are doing show notes and a blog post with your podcast. Also, blogs, YouTube, and podcasts are easier to repurpose, because remember, it's easier to repurpose content than to constantly come up with new content. Before we go over for me to walk through my calendar, I want to talk about project management systems. And since I'm going to be doing this just on paper, you can do this on Google Calendar, you can do this on Asana, Trello, ClickUp. There's no right answer when it comes to how to set up your social media calendar. I just highly recommend doing it electronic because you can save things on there. So when I'm planning out my content, I can save my captions on my Asana board. I can save ideas over there. And so that's why I recommend having some type of project management tool like Trello or Asana, but you don't need any of these to get started. So let me show you how to start breaking this down. I know everybody uses something differently. I just got a giant post-it note here, hand wrote in November, and the calendar dates for that month. And I'm going to walk you through this process using something simple. And lastly, make sure you stay to the end because I'm going to give you some rapid fire hacks or tips to make this even easier for you to do. So the first thing you're going to do is, I got a color-coded marker and I'm going to mark any holidays. So anything that you need to be aware of, that you need to know, should you be posting on those days? Should you be thinking about, National Ice Cream Day? You're going to do that first on your calendar. So right off the bat, I know November 11th is Veterans Day here in the States. Also, Thanksgiving is this Thursday, the 25th. Following it is Black Friday and then Cyber Monday. So I've got those on my calendar to be aware of. The next thing I want you to think about on your social media calendar before you even start thinking about topics is promotion. Are you going to have any type of promo during this period, whether it's promoting affiliates, whether it's promoting your products, whether it's promoting your course, your services? Can you fit any promo content in this calendar? Since Black Friday is coming up, I know I'm going to be talking a little bit more about affiliates. And so I'm going to put that on my social media calendar because not only is my email list going to be getting some information about my favorite tools that are having sales over Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but I also want to talk about it on social media. So I just took a green marker and marked these days as promo days. I haven't came up with the content yet, but I'm keeping that in mind. Now we are getting into the content, and this is how I would really focus on your content. Every single week, you should have one big piece of content. This can be called your pillar content, your evergreen content, but come hell or high water, every week that one big piece of content is published. That can be a blog post, that can be a YouTube video, or a podcast episode. Something that's going to live longer than, say, an Instagram or a Facebook post. I'd love to know, what are you using as your pillar content, blogging, podcasting, YouTube? Let me know down in the comments. Or maybe you don't even have one yet, and that's totally fine. We're all getting started somewhere, and you're definitely watching the right video to get you started the right way. So we know every single week that pillar piece of content is coming out. I'm not going to go into detail on how to come up with this content idea. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel, because next week I'm going to share with you all my secret tips on how to constantly come up with great content ideas that your audience is excited to see from you. So go ahead, click that subscribe button. So my pillar content is a YouTube video every single Wednesday. So it'll look like this. Now that you know what your content is going to be for each week, you're going to start divvying this up so that you can share it across social media. Micro content, I like to call it. So can you pull out the main topics from that pillar piece of content as a quick recap for like an Instagram carousel? Can you pull out like one tip that you give in that video as an Instagram caption? Can you get the transcripts or write a blog post on it? Maybe you repurpose that video and put it over on Facebook as well, or even film a separate reel just summarizing that video. So then this is how my content starts to break out from this one particular YouTube video. I'll get another marker for this. Just from this pillar piece of content, I also schedule a blog post that same day. I also have a newsletter that will promote that YouTube video. I also recap the video or highlight the main points in that video with a carousel post on Instagram, with the main purpose of that carousel post for people to save. When people are saving those carousels, that is showing engagement, and you're going to be more likely to get a larger reach over on Instagram if people are saving your posts. I will also do Instagram stories to talk about that video as well and why people should watch that video. Sometimes I will do those in advance. So when I'm shooting this YouTube video, I will then also shoot those Instagram stories and save them for later, or I'll just do them that day. Okay, so that's my big content day. Then I want to start spacing out some of that micro content, right? So I'm going to do an Instagram post on Thursday talking about one particular piece of advice from that video. I'm also probably going to put my repurposed YouTube video over on Facebook that day as well. And then we pull promo clips from that actual YouTube video and put it on Instagram stories again to get people excited to go watch it. So now we're on to Friday. I like to do something a little bit different on Friday, so I'm going to skip that for right now to tell you about that third layer of content. We have our pillar content, we have the micro content that comes out of your pillar content, then this third topic that I'm going to share with you in a minute. Then on Mondays, I like to pull out a quote or a concept from that video with the idea that, again, people will save or share this. It is really important to be creating shareable content over on Instagram, because that's going to be the quickest way to reach more people if people are actually sharing your content. So I'm going to put an Instagram post here. So from this YouTube video, we now have a blog post, we have a newsletter, we have an Instagram carousel, we have stories, we also have an IG post that next day going more into detail on one specific tip that you give them. You also have a Facebook video and IG stories. The last thing that I am going to put on here is we do an Instagram TV episode. So we will share a clip of this video and then have a call to action to watch the full video over on YouTube, because people generally don't watch Instagram TVs longer than like 5 minutes. So if I can just get them interested in the topic and they're kind of sucked in, they want to go over to my YouTube video to finish watching it. So I am going to put that on Friday. Now, this is the content piece, pillar piece, where you're building your authority, you're showing people you know what you talk about, and it's driving you traffic. Because if you're putting it on a blog, if you're putting it on YouTube, it's searchable content. People can search that content, find it on Google, on YouTube. Great. The next piece of content is going to be that piece of content that makes the connection with your community, gets that know, like, and trust, makes them ready to buy from you. And this is your connection pieces, storytelling, or like these personal posts. So I was posting every single week a little bit of a personal story about how I got to my business, or struggles that I know other entrepreneurs can relate with in my business. And that was happening every single Monday. I think I'm going to move it to Tuesday, since we are putting those shareable quotes on Monday. So then you're going to go through your calendar, right? You're going to replicate this for every single week. Now we're putting in that connection piece of content. So you're just going to come up with a story about you so that your viewer can feel connected to you. That's going to be the piece of content that's going to take somebody who's a casual viewer, somebody who likes your content, to then engaging, sending you DMs, and ultimately wanting to work with you or buy from you. This is a very important piece of your social media plan. You also want to incorporate some engagement content. What can you do to get people commenting back and getting a conversation going? Something as simple as sharing your coffee order and asking people what their coffee order is, right? So I want you to include that as well over on Instagram. So maybe we do that on a Saturday. Now, if you're looking to post on Instagram 5 days a week and make it super simple, we almost have the whole week planned out for Instagram, right? Repurposing your YouTube video here, repurposing your YouTube video here. We're sharing a story to make that connection. We're sharing an engagement piece. And one other piece of content that I like to share is shouting out my clients and also people that I've enjoyed working with or I've enjoyed buying from. And so like a feature Friday almost. Since we just have an IGTV going live on Friday, I may add into that calendar a feature Friday post. So every Friday, like I said, I'm going to highlight a win one of my clients had or somebody that I enjoy working with. So now you can see how easy it is to plan out your social media content. Now, I use this a lot for Instagram and YouTube, but you can do the same thing with a podcast, right? Put your podcast episode here, summarize it, right? For that carousel, share a core piece or go into detail on a piece of advice you give in that podcast and just start to space it out. Don't recreate the wheel. Think about how you can repurpose this content because not everybody is following your podcast or not everybody's going to see that Instagram post. The more you can get it out to more people, the more they are going to actually see it. And then I know we talked a little bit about promo here, but you also want to think about incorporating in each week, how can you promote you? Is that your lead magnet? Is it your webinar? Is it your digital product shop, right? Think where you can weave this in. Maybe on Sunday, maybe on Tuesday, right? This is all for you to build for your business. It's your business. You set the rules. This is what it looks like in my business. You can totally set it up however you want. You don't need to post all of this, but this is just to make it easier to come up with, right? So if you break it all down, if you do a pillar piece of content, that is giving you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of content for that entire week. When you break it down this way, it makes it so much easier. So let me show you what a completed schedule would look like. Your entire calendar is done for the month. Everything in orange is coming from that one piece of content. Every single week. You're not creating new content. You're just using that pillar piece of content and distributing it differently with all the orange. The other things that you are creating are a story post, only four a month, maybe a feature Friday or some type of way to engage your audience or highlight wins that you're getting people for a month. So that's 8 posts. Right now, engagement, something super simple. What is easy for people to comment on? I used the coffee example earlier. Maybe it's a book you're reading. What book do you recommend, right? It's just to get people talking to you, right? And then the last piece is your promo. This is how are you going to get people on your email list? How are you going to get people to sign up with you? So when you break it all down, you're doing that pillar content. You're doing 1, 2, 3, 4 extra posts each week. 4 times 4 weeks is 16. You only need to write 16 other posts. Now, like I said, you don't have to go this hardcore. By no means, you get to pick what works for you, but this is a great example of how you can make social media so much easier. And a lot of these posts that we created here for Instagram, you can then put them on Facebook, you can put them on LinkedIn, wherever else you're hanging out on. Now let's go through those rapid fire tips to make this even easier. Tip number 1 is you've got to put content creation time on your calendar. If you don't set aside time every single month to do this, it is not going to happen. I like to do it usually the week before a new month or maybe 2 weeks before the new month, depending how much leeway I have to get my video edited for that pillar piece of content. But treat content creation like an appointment because if you don't put it on your calendar, you're never going to do it. This plan can be great, but implementation is key. The second tip I have is batch similar tasks. So like I said, putting this on your calendar, maybe half a day, all you do is you write those 4 posts a week for Instagram, right? Your storytelling, your engagement piece, your feature piece, and maybe your promo piece. You sit down one day, write those all out for the month. That's 16 captions, not a whole lot to do. Then another day is when you plan out your pillar piece of content. And then a third day is when you record that pillar piece of content, right? The more you can batch things together, the easier, especially video. I'm able to do my month's worth of content in one day for video. Then that takes care of 10 pieces of content a week times 4, 40 pieces of content all done in that one day. The third hack that I have for you is to think about a monthly theme. If you're like, how am I ever going to figure out what to talk about all month? If you have a theme each month, it's a lot easier to come up with ideas. So this month, November, for me, I'm talking all about social media content, content calendar, and this kind of content creation thing that us as business owners need to do. So if you can start to think about a theme theme every single month is going to make coming up with content ideas a heck of a lot easier. Fourth hack that I have for you is set up workflows and have templates. So if you know every single step that you have got to do to get this out, it's going to be a lot easier to stay on board. And if you are lucky to get to the point where you could bring somebody on to help you, maybe a few hours a week, you can hand that workflow over to them, and it would allow you to not have to do as much to get this out. And then as far as templates, think about carousel templates, think about shareable post templates, think about Feature Friday templates, right? Just create some templates in Canva. Then all you do is switch them out each month for different words or different pictures, right? Work smarter when it comes to content creation, not harder. This last piece is very important, and it is to sit down and schedule a monthly audit. So since the last week of the month, you're creating content for that next month, I would say the first week of the month, you sit down and look at the prior month's content. Look at, did you get engagement? Did it increase from the month before? Are people sharing more of your content? Are people saving more of your content? Are you getting more views over on YouTube? Are you reaching more people on YouTube? You've really got to take some time to analyze and audit your content to make sure the content that you are creating is working. Because if you just keep doing the same thing and the same thing isn't working, there's no point in creating that content, right? So set aside time to look over your analytics, look over the data to ensure you are doing the right things and headed in the right direction. Now, if you want to see exactly how I take a YouTube video and turn it into 10 plus pieces of content with my video multiplier formula, then click on the video that is on your screen right now. And if you're struggling with coming up with ideas and how the heck are you going to have enough ideas to fill up this content calendar, subscribe to this channel, because next week I'm going to show you all of my tactics and strategies for coming up with content ideas. See you next week.